Good day all. Welcome to the next video in which we are going to have a look at converting decimal to hexadecimal and hexadecimal to decimal. As in the previous video, the decimal DEC stands for 10, as in decade, 10 years, and we use the decimal system. We use a number of 10, meaning that in one position in the units, for example, I can only have 10 characters and one character at a time. So starting at 0, I can go to 1, 2, 3, and please note we're looking at the first unit, the first box that we can put data in. We are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I go to the last digit, it is 9. It is now full. I have put 10 items in, starting at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once I want to put another character in there, I will have to empty the first one out and put a second digit into the tens. Not a second, the second meaning the first one was a 0. And we're now adding, we don't show the 0 normally, but we're now putting a 1 into the second or the tens digit. So this means that the units digit has been filled once. If I put a 2 in the tens digit, it tells me that the units digit has been filled twice. And so we can go on. If I put a 3 in there, a 3 in there, it tells me that the units digit has been filled 3 times. And there are no units in the box at the moment. If I start putting some units in there, I have 2 units in the units box, and I have filled the units box 3 times, so I have 32. That is in the decimal system. The same way in the hexadecimal, if I start adding digits into the units, I have 4 units in the units of the hexadecimal, but I can put more than 10. So if I go up to 9, I have 9 units, but I've still got more. So I cannot put 2 characters in one box. So they came up with an idea to put in an A, and then B, C, D, E. Once the box is full with F, I cannot put anything else in the first character, in the first box. I have put in 16 different characters, starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, 15, and 16. So I have put 16 different characters into the first position. Once I fill that out, once I add another one, it goes back to 0, and like in the decimal system, I put a 1 in here. But 10 does not say 10, because 10 implies that I filled this position once with tens, but I filled it once with 16. And that is the hexadecimal system. So 10 actually means 16 in the decimal system. So please note that the green is decimal. I have converted the blue hexadecimal 10 into decimal 16. 10 stands for 16. If I add another 1 unit into the second character, in this case not the 10s but the 16s, I have filled this box twice, which means I've now got 32. If I filled it 3 times, I would have filled it 3 times with 16, which is 48. And I can now fill the characters again, so I can put in a 4 characters into the units digit, and I've got 3 4. 3 4 in hexadecimal is 52 in the decimal system. Now let's go a little bit to the right and have a look at how this system works. As in the binary system, the binary system was built up of 2 to the power of 0 first. Like in hexadecimal, I've got 16 to the power of 0. The next character in decimal system, in the binary system, was 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 3, 4, and so forth. In the decimal system, we have the same thing. We have 10 to the power of 0 in the units, 10 to the power of 1 in the tens, 10 to the power of 2 in the hundreds, and so it goes up to the millions and 10 millions. In the hexadecimal system, we have 16 to the power of 0, 16 to the power of 1, 16 to the power of 2, in each character going from right to left. The next character is 16 to the power of 3, and so we would go on to 16 to the power of 4, 5, 6, 7. If I, in the least significant digit, if I put a 1 in there, it will be 1 in the 16 to the power of 0. This can be filled up right to A for 10, and F is the last digit, as we saw on the left, where we have 16 positions to fill the first character. So I have now filled the first character. The number that I have in decimal is therefore 15, and I have filled the first position of 16 to the power of 0. If I go to the second digit and I put in a, well, first of all it starts with 0, but I then go to 1, I have 1F. 1F relates to 31 in decimals. Now the function that I have used, or the function that Excel has created, is hex2dec. And hex2dec converts the hexadecimal to the decimal. I have a hexadecimal number and I'm converting it to the decimal system. And I use the hex2dec function, and as a parameter I give it the hexadecimal number. So any number that I give it, if I put an A in here, I have A1F, and that relates to 2591 in decimal, because I converted the hexadecimal to decimal. As we can see in the formula bar, hex2dec. I then, and it gets built up of the first character, which is F times the first, which is 15, 1 times 16 to the power of 1, which in this case is 16, 1 times 16. If I make it 2, it's 2 times 16, 32, so it's 32 plus 15. And the last, in this case, the A, I have A times 16 to the power of 2, which is 2, I've got A, which is 10, times 16 to the power of 2, which comes to, in decimals, 2560. The sum of all that, so 2560 plus 32 plus 15, comes to 2607. That is what we saw in the conversion from hexadecimal to decimal. If I use the same or a similar function, I have the decimal to hex function, and as a parameter I give it the decimal number. So we saw that we build up a hexadecimal number. I converted that hexadecimal with the function hex2decimal to decimal. I've shown how to build or how to convert a hexadecimal by using 16 to the power of 0 times the number that we've got, 16 to the power of 1 times the number that we selected, 16 to the power of 2 times A, which relates to 10, and we add all those up and we come to the decimal equivalent, of A to F, and I converted that with the decimal to hex conversion function, giving it as a parameter the decimal number. There are no restrictions in Excel as far as the numbers go, where we saw in the decimal to binary or decimal to sorry, the hexadecimal to binary, where the restriction was 512. Here we can build a number much bigger. I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. We could build much more, but I could go to F on this. Oops, sorry, I can't. I'll have to build that up. But over here I can build that number, and I can see that FA2F relates to 64,047 in decimal. I hope that this explains a little bit the conversion from decimal to hexadecimal and from hexadecimal to decimal. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.